Uh-huh. Stella, are you out there? Yes, I am. And Stella, are you listening to the world's famous?
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Downtime with Downstar, episode 161. And today we are here with Mark Arcenal of Fatlace. Mark, what's up, brother?
What's good, man? Chilling.
Not much, bro. This is a long time in the coming, dude.
Yeah, I know, man. Like, I think we've been in park for about a month now, right?
Yeah, but we've been talking about it ever since it was after Joey's podcast that we did, and that was episode 74, I believe. And we're moving, man. We're moving, but it's a pleasure to sit here and talk with you, man. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
So, just a quick breakdown for anybody who's not familiar with you. Can you give us just a quick breakdown of who you are and what you do?
Yeah. Mark Arcenal. I'm creative director for a brand called Illest. We've been around for 10 years. Before that, I was working at Nike as a global design guy for a while. And before that, I was in advertising for about 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got you, man. Yeah, I've been doing my pre-production, and there's a lot to go over, man. You have quite a resume.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. So, one of the last times that you and I ran into each other was when you did the pop-up on Rosewood and Fairfax at the old Hundreds location. So tell me about that, dude, because when that came up, I was super excited, man. I'm a huge fan of the Hundreds, and that shop right there just brings back so many memories of like going on Black Friday and just waiting in line. And how did that end up coming out?
Well, so I was gonna, last year was our 10-year anniversary for Illest. I said, hey, we should throw a party, right? We actually was in the process of renting, what's that museum? The car museum in San Francisco? The Peterson. And, I think because I wanted to go all out, I hired a bunch of, rappers and everyone. I think the cost was like $60,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I decided, man, should we really do this, or should we just get like a pop-up for 6 months and, just show people that, we're moving to LA, and let's just, expand and let people know that we're in town. So we ended up doing the pop-up, and I think we dropped a few collaborations and we did a few events there, and I think it helped us a lot because, to transition from NorCal to SoCal, although we started in SoCal, it really helped a lot.
Yeah. So how was the overall experience with having that pop-up?
It was cool. I mean, it was funny because I talked to a lot of my friends that have, stores, and they're like, what, you're going to open up a store right now? It's like the worst time. And I didn't think it was the worst time. I thought it was a good time because, you kind of don't want to go off trends. You just want to just do your thing and see what happens, right? I think we learned a lot. We learned that the city is not as active as it was in the past.
Yeah.
At the same time, people are still down to support you. And, I think we did pretty good for considering that we were just there for 6 months.
Yeah, no, it was super cool, man, especially when you guys had the grand opening of the pop-up shop. Me and my guy went down over there, and it was definitely a cool vibe for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was like one of those, whenever we open up a store, we have a pretty long line out the door, and the line was pretty good. I thought it was amazing to still see people line up for things, like you see it at Supreme, but now you don't see it anymore because they have the ticket thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts, since you've been around for so long, what are your thoughts on Fairfax and all the shops out there and how the culture is now?
I mean, 6 months is a really small sample size, but it is still a sample
Yeah.
size of what people are into. I mean, it's difficult. I think having a long-term lease there is not really ideal. I think people don't want to go anywhere anymore. They just want to kick it at home, right? And us, because we're all on lockdown, the world is. I think it's reminding people maybe you don't need it. You know, maybe you should just order it online. It's much faster. You don't really need it now. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's weird. I mean, being online, we're lucky. We're lucky. We're really mostly online in the United States. It's been pretty awesome. You know, I think we've we're doing much better than we were, you know, before the lockdown, which is pretty crazy. You know, you just got
Yeah.
to be really smart with your brand and try to figure out what you want to do, you know, like how you want to, I guess, portray your brand in front of the world now,
Yeah.
because really people aren't doing anything. They're just really at home and surfing pretty much most of the day, or taking a walk around the block or something like that.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
has this lockdown affected you personally and then the brand itself?
Um, for the brand, I think because we have a huge we're kind of big in Asia right now. It's kind of hurt some countries because of a lot of countries don't really rely on online and an online experience, because a lot of people don't have credit cards in some countries, right? They just pay cash.
Mm.
So it hurts in some countries, but in the US it's great, you know. Personally, I think it's given me a lot of time to work on projects I haven't touched in a long time, you know, like I sold a bunch of cars. I'm focusing on like my bus right now, and this 964 I just picked up again.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's like I have time to kind of, you know, concentrate and see what I really want to make out of these things.
Is it making you reevaluate things on how you were spending time, and then when we get out of this, are you gonna attack it differently than the past?
Well, actually, it's funny. It's like I don't. My schedule really hasn't changed much, because I work pretty much all day,
Yeah.
right? 'Cause by the time most people are sleeping in the U.S., I'm still awake because I still have to talk to my Asia counterparts, and I take 2 naps a day, right? So it keeps me pretty much awake most of the day, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, if we can get into it a little bit, what does a everyday life look like for you? Like what time do you get up, and what's on the schedule on a usual
Oh,
day?
yeah. What's funny is I actually changed my sleep pattern in the last month. I tried something different, and it's actually helped a lot. It's weird, you know, like I used to take a nap like at 9 to
Mm-hmm.
10 p.m. And
Mm-hmm.
then that keep me awake till about 2 to 3
Mm-hmm.
a.m. and then go to sleep and then wake up about 7. But I feel like shit, right? Because 4 hours of sleep is not enough.
Yeah.
So then I switched my nap to like 4 to 5 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. I just woke up. And then and then that keeps me up till about 12, right? And then I wake up at 6, so it's kind of cool. I get 8 hours a day, so it's pretty cool.
Is it hard to get into a nap and get out of it?
No, I don't even have an alarm that wakes me up. I'm just already used to doing this. The switching part, like the hour switch, was a little difficult, but I'm used to it right now. My wife's like, "Oh, it's your nap time. You should probably take a nap."
That's cool, man. Yeah, sometimes I end up taking a nap and it turns into like a half sleep. I wake up like 4 hours later. It's 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, oh shit.
Then you're up till 4.
Yeah, man. So, that's very interesting, man. That you have it scheduled out. When did you realize the importance of time and time management and the value of how much you can get into, you know, your day or to get out of it?
Because I've been doing this for so many. maybe 20, I don't know, 20 years maybe. Because since I started in advertising back in 2001,
Mm-hmm.
um, when you're in advertising, you really don't sleep, right? Like they expect you to be there about 8 a.m. and then you're there till about midnight, right? Like 9 a.m. to midnight
Wow.
every day, right? Yeah, this like real hardcore hours. I mean, they pay you salary. There's really the only time you get a bonus is end of the year, but we're workhorses over there, right? Like we just relied on, I guess we're motivated because we want to make the best product, right? So I think when we did when I did work in advertising in like the agency world, I learned so much about how much time management and like so learned a lot about time management. And when I did get home, midnight or 11 p.m., I use that time just to kind of like use an hour to like cool, like ease my brain, and then
Yeah.
I fall asleep. I wake up the next morning. But really, I wasn't married at the time, and I think, well, I was married. I just got married, but I think advertising really changed my way of like seeing how I should be operating out there. Like you see everyone at the top, right, of in any brand or any company,
Yeah.
you see that these guys are like really, really working hard, working their asses off, right? Like no one really just makes it out of nowhere, right? Like they really work their ass off just to get to where they're at. And I kind of saw that in the beginning, and you don't really notice that you're doing it because you're just really working and you're having a good, I guess, pretty good time doing it, right?
Yeah. So what made you want to get into advertising?
Um, I don't know. It was weird. I was like working at Gap, Gap.com for a
Mm-hmm.
while. And I said, a friend of mine said, hey, you should work at our agency because I like doing Photoshop and designing, right? I worked there. Then I don't know. I kind of like moved up a bunch of ladders and became a creative director eventually. And I don't know. I really liked the atmosphere
Now,
working with stuff.
when you started working for the agency, what year was this?
Um, hmm. I would say around 2000 to 2006,
Okay.
around there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
2006, and then 2006 to '09, I was at Nike, and then the last 10, I was at doing Illest.
Got you. Got you. Okay. So now you say you just moved to SoCal, correct?
No, we're in the process right now. We know which area we want to move to.
Got you.
Yeah, we're looking at houses right now.
How has this shutdown affected you're looking for a house?
Oh, it's not that bad. I mean, I think I could still sell my house for a pretty good price, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, I think housing market hasn't changed yet, and as far as like it's like people are trying to get rid of their houses
Yeah.
because they know that this thing's kind of temporary. You just have to kind of like ride this wave of, I guess, the stay indoor wave.
Yeah.
Thinking about maybe 3 months, 2 months, we'll be back to normal. Maybe hopefully 1 month. I don't know.
Yeah, no, definitely. Hoping so, cuz we were in the same ballpark, dude. We were looking for a house, and we
Mhm.
actually put in a bid for a house and they didn't accept it, and then all of this stuff started happening, which
Shit.
if they would have accepted it, dude, I would have been kind of scared, cuz
Yeah.
just everything is so uncertain. I don't know what's going to happen. So,
Yeah.
do you think that it's going to be more beneficial for buyers after all the dust settles?
I think it will be in about 2 months.
Yeah.
I think it just all depends. If you can hold out selling your house, go for it. But a lot of people are in the middle of it right now, so it's a little sketch, right, for those guys.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's a weird time, man. It seems like some people are thriving and it seems like some people are just hurt, man. And
Yeah,
it's
it's unfortunate.
it definitely is, dude. And I hope that something good comes out of all of this.
Yeah, I think I read something today, and I try not to read up on too much news, but I read on somebody's. I don't know, stories or something. They're talking about how most entrepreneur guys, they help shape the future
Mm-hmm.
because these guys are the guys that are pushing the most, you know?
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, right? Like, because, you know, your mentality of trying to create something while there's something crazy going on, it's always on, right? Like your brain's like, shit, we got to figure this out because you're working for yourself, right? And you're
Yeah.
hustling, and you're basically like, damn, I got to hustle right now and make
Yeah.
sure you know, that. And I don't know. I think you know the same. You work the same way. Like your brain is wired differently than most people. So I think that's why we do what we do. You know.
Yeah, no, definitely. And sometimes it makes you feel like an outcast and a little lonely because the way that you think isn't the way that the masses think, or maybe people in
Yeah.
your circle. And
Yeah. They always think I'm a little. I'm Mark's crazy. What the hell?
you have to
He's gonna.
be.
Yeah, you're gonna go for it right now. Like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go for it right now. You know.
Yeah, you have to be a little crazy, man. Yeah, this is definitely an interesting time, and always in these times of pressure, diamonds come out of it. There's hopefully some people are going to come out with a new business. Maybe up and coming entrepreneurs. This is their time. Maybe they were being held back by their job, and unfortunately they got laid off. So they kind of got forced into that entrepreneur mode, and sometimes that's all it takes.
That's all it takes, dude. It's always that one little thing, and I think this is not little, but I mean it's helping a lot of people realize their potential.
Yeah, definitely. So let's go ahead and jump into the beginning if we can. Where were you born at, and what area did you grow up in?
I pretty much I grew up in San Francisco. I was born in San Francisco, grew up in San Francisco. My parents were pretty much hippies, like
Mm-hmm.
Asian hippies. Pretty funny.
No
My dad,
way.
yeah, we basically. I mean, I grew up on Cole Street. It was a block from Haight Street
Okay.
during the '70s, so you can imagine what that shit was like.
Yeah.
A lot of craziness. And my dad worked in Berkeley at UC Berkeley at the time as a janitor of all things,
Uh huh.
because he couldn't get a job until he finished a part of his degree. So once he finished it at Berkeley, he was a janitor and working there. I mean, at going to school there at the
Yeah.
same time. Those two, both my parents are chemists, so they expected me to go into that realm, right? Like, oh, I should do something in the medicine field. I'm like, all right. I looked into it. I liked cosmetic surgery at the time, so I took up biology,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to be like a cosmetic surgeon because I was like way into like crazy shit. But I didn't do that because once I got into like seeing all the blood, and I wasn't really into that.
Yeah.
I got into creative, being creative. I took up interior design and became a interior designer.
Got you. So have you always been a creative person?
Yeah, dude. In high school, I got in trouble, I guess, a couple times. I changed high school twice because of graffiti.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I loved art back then, and I still do. I actually just found my bug for doing art again. So I've been doing a lot of paintings lately.
Very cool. So you were big into graffiti back in the day?
Yeah.
Was it
Yeah,
like tagger crews or what?
I was definitely, I tagged pretty much every day of the year, and then we do throw ups every now and then on the freeways and stuff.
Dude, that's sick.
Yeah,
How were those times, man?
it was the best, man. I like it. Those are the best times, like I knew every single graffiti artist out there, like all the guys that are super famous now. I met them back then and still keep in touch with them.
What was your name?
Well, my first one was Squeeze, and then I got in trouble with that one, and then I did Sushi One after that.
Sushi one?
Sushi, like sushi.
Yeah.
Yes, one. Yep.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
So did were your parents against it or?
Oh yeah. I think the first time I got in high school, I was in San Francisco. I had to go to a school up in the East Bay.
Yeah.
Worst school, San Francisco school. I got way busted over there. Then I moved to Burlingame. But yeah, they weren't really down. But they knew I was into art, you know?
Yeah.
We had a lot of cans at the house.
So then after you wanted to be a cosmetic surgeon, and then decided that didn't work out, then where did you focus your attention after that?
Well, my idea was, cause I was so into graffiti. A friend of mine said, dude, you just got to finish college, do whatever it takes to finish college as fast as you possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
So then I looked it up. I was like, oh, I like design. So, I took up interior design and I finished pretty quick. I mean, it took me a couple years cause I switched, in the middle of 2 years. And then I went to interior design and finished that. Got
you. Now, did you end up getting a job in that field?
No, I mean, I had a business at the time. I had a sign business, like sticker business. So we would sticker up all the cars, all the JDM cars back then, right? Like every single, I guess, livery back then we would do on our friends' cars. And then just, I was known as the sticker guy. So I did stickers for every single crew out there.
That's sick, dude. What made you get into that?
I don't know. I bought a plotter. I actually borrowed money from my now brother-in-law. It was my sister's boyfriend at the time. I asked him if I can borrow $3,500. I bought a plotter. I still have that plotter, but I got more plotters now. But I still have that first plotter, and we just started making stickers because I thought it was. I worked at a sign company.
Okay. I'm
like, man, this guy, my boss was a dick. You know what? I could do this, and then I got the bug, and I got pretty good, started doing websites. And I think from there, when I graduated, my dad said, hey, you're doing stickers, you're making good money, but don't you want a real job? And I said, all right. And then that's when I got to the job at Gap.
Got you. So the sticker business, was that your first taste of entrepreneur life?
Yeah, totally. My uncle was a huge entrepreneur, and he was always, that dude was balling, right? Had all the new cars and stuff. I'm like, man, how does he do this, right? Then I found out he has his own business, and then I said, man, I want to have my own business, right? But at the same time, I couldn't afford cars because I wasn't making enough,
Yeah.
But the agents, once I started Gap, and then all the 3 different agencies I was at, that's when I realized, shit, I can make pretty good money, right? Because once you keep moving up on the ladder, your paycheck changes too, right?
Yeah.
So then, like, dang, I'm super young, I'm making crazy money, and I think that's when I started buying cars.
Now, do you feel like you've always been an entrepreneur, but you just didn't tap into that skill, or do you feel that it's a skill that you can actually learn and build on?
Well, there's a few things that I learned being an entrepreneur. Is one, I'm not very good with numbers and the books, right? So now, we have business partners that handle all of that, and all I have to do is be creative, work with customers. I mean, not customers, work with other brand owners and create collaborations that are awesome, right? Like, I think that's my talent right now. I think I can really good at connecting with people and talking with them about the similarities that they go through and I go through, like we every brand owner goes through the same thing.
Yeah. And
I think I'm fortunate enough because we partnered with guys in Asia. We got, I basically sold some of my company. Mm-hmm. And I think, it's been great because I just have to concentrate on being a creative, which is what I love to do.
So right now you're still the one doing the designs and the creative part of the brand?
I do the creative directing. I have my team in Asia. There's about 12 designers over there. Mm-hmm. and then we have 6 people here in the States, like my team in LA, and then I got 3 people up north.
So say if
Or maybe
you
8 people.
so say if you want to do a collaboration with somebody, what are some of the steps that you take to make that happen?
So one thing I learned about doing collaborations is it's easy to do it, right? Like I think the hardest part is when you're doing a collaboration with. It's easy to do a collab with a friend, right?
Yeah.
Like a friend owns a brand, and then it's difficult to do a collaboration with a corporate identity, right? Like huge corporate companies. There's so many. There's so much red tape.
Yeah.
But if you're willing to be patient, you could pretty much do anything. You just have to be very, very patient, right? I think when we did our Beats by Dre collab, I'll use that one for an example because I think it's a that to me was one of the easiest collaborations I've ever done in my life because a friend of mine who used to sit next to me at Nike just happened to become the vice president of Beats by Dre, right? And I hit him up. I texted him. I said, "Hey, Omar, let's do a collab." He goes, "Shoot, we never did a collab with the brand yet. We've only done it with artists. The last one is Lady Gaga, right?"
Yeah.
So, and shit, let's be the first brand. He goes, "Hell yeah!" So I flew down there, or I drove down there, met up with them, and 2 weeks later we got the sample, right? And it's never been that easy ever since. That's a prime example of knowing the right people, right?
Yeah.
And with Nike, I've met so many people, and we've been able to do a lot of collaborations because of that. But at the same time, when I'm doing a collaboration with, like, say, hold on one second. For example, here's one. If I'm going to do a collab with, let's say, Orai from Japan. Japan, you must know, is they're very formal with everything. So when you go to Japan, you have to meet with the president. You got to take the tour. You got to do the whole nine.
Yeah.
Right? You present to them what your ideas are, and then maybe they'll do it, maybe they won't. Most of the time they will, right? But in Japan, when you're doing collabs with anyone over there, you definitely got to. You can't just text them.
Yeah.
You can't just. You know what I mean? It's a little more formal.
Yeah. When we were over there for Auto Salon in January, we Ryan and I, we spent time with RJ DeVera, and we went out to eat, and he was telling us about his past experiences there doing business, and he says that that it's a journey to do any business in Japan. He says you got to go eat dinner, then you got to go drinking and smoking, and then it's so hard just to get that solid yes. It says it's like a Japanese yes. Is it a U.S. yes or a Japanese yes?
Yeah, for sure. It's Japan brands are definitely there's easy and there's not so easy, right? I think it's way more easier when you know the owners and you're good friends with them, you know.
Yeah.
Japan or US, any brand in general, right? Luckily, I've got to know, I guess, owners of many brands, and you know, I just text them or email them.
Yeah.
And it goes down pretty good.
Have you ever done a Bape collab?
No, but my business partners in Asia, they're actually opening up a Bape store, so we might be able to do something soon.
Dude, that would be sick. That's my brand, bro. #1 brand. Bape. I love it, dude. So
definitely.
So you have so many collabs that you've done. What was the collab that you first did that you realized that with that knowledge you can just keep building on top of that, and you kind of realize the structure of what it takes to take a collab to the next level, and to feel that confidence to be able to approach a company and show them, hey, this is what we have, this is what we've done. What was that like? That collab?
man, we've done a gazillion, right? So I think I Beats really helped us open the door for everyone.
That one
I
actually,
think
you
people
actually cut out
realize.
for a second. I'm sorry.
Oh, am I good?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So yeah, I think Beats by Dre was the one that kind of opened up the door for a lot of us. I mean, before that, we've done a ton of collaborations, but that one kind of sticks out to me because um, I don't know, people enjoyed it. It was like one of those fuck Beats by Dre or fuck I love Beats by Dre, right? Like it was like before the Apple buyout, so I think it was a good timing for us.
Dude, that's so huge, bro. Beats by Dre collab.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So let's I know we're kind of getting off track here. I want to still paint the picture of how you got to where you're at now. So you went to the agency about 2000 2006. What were some of the things that really interest you about that lifestyle, and then took you to your next endeavor, which would be with the Nike sportswear?
I think I loved agency world for a while, and then I think after so many hours and so many Red Bulls, I was like kind of burnt from that. And I always thought to myself, I realized when you're working for an agency, at the end of the day, when the client leaves your door, you're like, shit, did this guy just like we presented him something, but I know once he leaves this door, his idea is going to be like, oh man, I don't like that idea anymore,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
then you're like, shit, why don't I try working in the agency side? I mean, in the on the client side, because when you work at Nike or when you work at any big company, they still work with agencies, right? So if you're on the other side of the other side of the fence, you can kind of like I guess you could kind of push the narrative, right? Like
Yeah.
you could, drive the narrative. So I think I liked that idea, and I thought it was kind of cool. I thought working, moving on to like client side was a pretty cool
So
experience.
how did you end up making that transition to working with Nike?
The Nike guys actually, a friend of mine, when I worked in advertising, he ended up moving to Oregon, and he invited me. I mean, we still keep in touch till today. He's not at Nike anymore, and I'm not. But
Hmm.
he hit me up and said, "Hey, dude, I want to invite you to Nike. Check out the scene. You might enjoy it. I want to introduce you to a bunch of people." I wasn't going in for an interview, but at the end of the day, I met with like four vice presidents, and that's not a normal thing for any normal person to go to an advert, to go for an interview. I think it's more like, wow, this. I think he sees something in me. I don't know, but at the time, I was just like, oh shit, man, Tiger Woods hit the ball here for here. I was like so stoked to be at Nike. Period.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan building, like Mia Hamm building, like all these buildings are named after these awesome athletes, and I was kind of just in awe at that. I didn't realize that they were actually interviewing me, but I didn't know, And at the end of the day, they asked me if I wanted to work there, and I had said I had to ask my wife first.
Wow. So that's probably a better way to interview, the not knowing that you're being interviewed, because they get to know the real you.
Yeah, dude, I wasn't even dressed up, man. I was like seriously dressed like a normal dude. You know what I mean? Like something that you would wear to go shopping. That's how I wasn't even dressed up.
Yeah. So
You
when
know?
you started working for them, what was your task that you had to accomplish?
Well, they hired a bunch of people, like a bunch of specialists, And at the time, I had this blog called Fatlace.com, so it was like before Hypebeast,
Yeah.
so it was really an early Hypebeast, and they really liked that, and they saw that I was in advertising, and I had experience in advertising world, so they knew that I understood not just the hype part of it. They understood that they knew that I understood the business side of it. So I was just in charge of creating NikeSportswear.com.
Got you. Okay, so let's just get the timeline correct. You said 2006 is when you started with Nike.
Yeah.
And Fatlace started in 99.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and
we opened up the first Fatlace store in 2006 while I was at Nike. So I actually had to give up the company to my wife and a friend, and because you can't own a store when you're working at Nike.
Got you. Okay, so in that 7 years, let's go back to 1999 when you started Fatlace. What was the motivation to start that?
I was way into hip hop, like breakdancing, graffiti still, and DJing, right? Music.
Yeah.
That basically Fatlace was my outlet to express what I was into, right? So if I saw something cool about design, basically it's just like my Instagram.
Yeah.
Like whatever I'm into, that's what I would post about, and I create these flash movies where I hand drew an Air Force One. You could pick colors and stuff. Like way before there was Nike ID, I created this one thing, and so I think Nike kind of saw that, and they were kind of stoked with things that I was doing.
Yeah.
And from there, I basically I wanted to open up a store. I couldn't. At that time, I couldn't, so I finally did in 2006, right when I got hired. So it was kind of weird.
Okay, everybody, we're going to take a quick break for our sponsors, and we'll be back in 1 minute. We all know that there's tons of places you can buy your car parts at, but when you really need help, who's in your corner? When you need parts for your Honda, you need to visit HeelToeAuto.com. Since 2002, Heel Toe has built a reputation for service and support. Let me repeat that, guys. Since 2002. It's 2020 right now. That's a long time of experience, man. These social media slingers and copycat web stores can't match Heel Toe's professionalism. Heel Toe even offers a complete OEM store for all your genuine parts needs. Whether it's for show, race, or just a badass daily, remember that HeelToeAuto.com is in your corner. And guys, if you're on Instagram, make sure you check them out at Heel Toe Automotive. Please go to their page right now, add them, and comment that you heard them on Downtime with Downstar podcast. Next up is Downstar. Downstar is the premium leader in dress-up hardware and engine bay accessories. We have all the nuts and bolts for all your screwing and nutting needs. From engine kits, transmission kits, mount kits, clutch lines, brake kits, t-shirts, skateboards, hats, lighters. Damn, we got it all. We actually have too much, guys. So if you can, please come over and buy some stuff at downstaring.com or check us out at Instagram at Downstar. Make sure you give us a follow. Now, back to the show. So did you start Fatlace just as your own sort of project to have your own like social media?
Yeah, it was like my voice to the world, and people would submit random things. Like hip hop artists would send me their new tapes, and I'd play it. Like just random weird thing.
How long?
Like I was into Jurassic 5 at the time, and we'd do something with those guys. Kind of cool.
How did you even get traction?
I don't know. That's the weirdest thing. Like people just started following us, and I think the blog just took off. But I did. I knew a lot of people around the world.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how, but I had them blog. Basically, I had these people blogging 24 hours a day because they, you know what I mean? Like there wasn't a blog. It wasn't even called a blog at the time. We basically was just a bunch of ideas, and we would just post about it.
Got you. So
Yeah.
it was more people than you?
Yeah, totally. I had like 20 contributors around the world. It was pretty cool.
Was that the right when it started in the first year?
No. The first year was all me, and then I started asking friends, "Hey, do you want to blog on my blog? I mean, do you want to post up on my?" And they were like, "Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love to tell my story."
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. That's like as organic as it gets.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I think we got pretty lucky with that.
So take us back to 99. What kind of stuff were you posting up? What were you into? What was your jam?
man, it was just all hip hop. You know, I was into hip hop and design, like really good graphic design. That was my shit right there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what kind of hip hop were you into?
Just all the whatever was in that at that time. I was way into East Coast hip hop and like Jurassic 5, hieroglyphics, like those guys.
Got you. Dude, that's crazy. So you started that, and then Nike in the 6 7 years they noticed that what you were doing and the culture that you had over there, and then they wanted to bring you on the team. Was that how it worked out?
I think it was my friend Glenn Chin. He was really, really the key component to me uh, being exposed to Nike. He's the one who invited me up, and I think I was super fortunate for him to do that.
That's a good friend, dude.
Yeah, we still talk, and that guy's killing it. He's like, he's in the, the gaming world now. So
Got you.
those guys are doing well.
Dude, that's a huge community too.
Huge. Yeah.
You ever think about getting into that?
Yeah, I think we have something coming out with one of the gaming companies soon. I can't really say that one yet because
Cool.
I don't we didn't I mean we did NDAs already, but I don't want to talk about it
Yeah,
yet.
got you. So you say in 2006 is when you opened the first store. When did you get the idea to even start selling merch or anything on the website?
Um, Let me see. I mean, we wanted to do it obviously right away, but dot coms weren't. I mean, like online sales wasn't really that popular yet. I
Yeah.
think when I first opened up, I think in '07 it started taking off. So people, I mean, crazy. I was at Nike. I put Illest on a T-shirt and was selling really well. And I was like, oh shit, this is like popping, right? Like I used a Titleist logo. I cut it up and made it into Illest. I get sued by Titleist. Well, not sued. I get a cease and desist from them. And then we just had to kill that logo, but people wanted it so much. I don't know. It was crazy.
Wow. That's huge, dude. That's insane.
Yeah, it was fun. I think I didn't know it was someone's handwriting. I thought it was
Oh,
a. So then
got
I
you.
cut it up, and they were like, "Nah, that's this lady's handwriting. She wrote the logo for Titleist."
Wow, that's crazy. That reminds me of Diamond. I remember listening to one podcast, and then I was always wondering what font the logo was or what. And he's like, when I was building the logo, the guy just told me, "Hey, just write Diamond," and he wrote it. He's like, "All right, there's the logo." It's the,
Yeah,
the the simplest things like that can grow into something great.
totally. I've known Nick since I think he was 16, maybe.
No way.
Yeah, like I used to design over at FTC skateboarding. Um, I don't know what year that was. Maybe 98, 90, 97, 96, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe six. Yeah. And Nick was one of those little kid skaters, always talking about, man, I got this I got this bolt I want to make. I'm like, oh shit, what's this guy talking about, right?
Yeah.
He even Kent, Kent owns FTC, and he's like, yes, Kent, hey man, you want to fund this thing? And I was like, not me, but I was like, well, I don't even know what he's talking about. And then a couple years later, this guy blows up.
Yeah, dude, his story is amazing, man. He's definitely one person that I want to have a conversation with. Just
Just,
I feel that there's so many parallels with his story and ours. Just starting off with hardware, the most random thing that nobody would even think about.
yeah.
But I remember that when we were talking and at the pop up shop that you said you had a collabo that you were working on with Diamond. Is that still something that's in the works?
Yeah. I mean, we did one in the past. I don't know if you saw that one.
No.
Yeah, we did a whole collection together a couple years back, and I told him, let's do something else. And then we're still in the works, but we'll see. I mean, we
Very,
we already designed everything. We just got to produce it now.
dope. Very cool. And then at the same time, I think it was around SEMA, if I'm not mistaken, or Auto Salon. I remember I was at some event and you guys dropped the hundreds collabo, the steering wheel.
Yeah.
Dude, that thing flew off the shelves.
I know. I think it sold out in 42 seconds. It was crazy.
Wow.
And we made a lot of them. Not a lot. I think we made 100.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a lot. That's quick for 42 seconds, you know?
Yeah. Definitely.
We have actually actually, you know, it's funny. The hundreds collab was supposed to be a bigger collaboration, a global one, but I think we scaled it back because we wanted to make sure that we had the audience. And then when we launched it, Bobby and Ben were like, "What the fuck?" It's crazy, right? We were actually supposed to have a huge event at their warehouse, but because of the timing, SEMA, ComplexCon, it was just really too tight, right? The windows was too tight. So our next something, you know, our future drop is going to be something that we talk about and having. We might do it at their. We probably will do it at their location. It just depends on when, because this whole coronavirus thing is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of messing everything up, man. I've pretty much not planned anything for 2020 until the dust settles and start over again.
Yeah.
Because you see so many events and everything's closing, and I don't want to get into the negative part of it. Everybody's in it. It sucks right now, but it'll be a good time soon. I definitely want to check that out, though, for sure. Just like Diamond Nick, the Hundreds is a brand that I look up to a lot. And after reading the book, Bobby Hundred's book, last summer, it just made me have so much more respect for the brand and made me realize the steps that it takes to get to that level, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Have you ever thought of, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's just a lot of patience, you know, like you definitely got to, you're going to take a lot of wins, you're going to take a lot of losses, and you're just going to have to, you know, power through everything. You know, like right now, everyone's trying to power through this craziness. And I think it's unfortunate a lot of people might not survive, but at the same time, you just got to try to be as positive as you can possibly be during this crazy time.
Yeah, no, definitely right about that. Now, have you thought about writing a book about your story?
Actually, I'm writing one right now. It's pretty funny.
No way.
Yeah, I have a cousin, well, a cousin-in-law that's written a gazillion, I don't know, bunch of books, and she's kind of coaching me on what to do and trying to figure out how to come off correct versus, you know what I mean, like versus coming off a different way, you know.
Yeah. That's cool, man. That's that would definitely be a good read for sure. So let's get back on the timeline. So 2006, you start at Nike, and that's the same time that the store's opening. What was life like back then for you?
It was very simple. I think you have nothing to worry about when you're getting a regular paycheck, right? You know, besides getting laid off or whatever, you know, fired or whatever. If you're doing well, then you're fine, right? But opening up a store and trying to fund that at the same time was kind of difficult, right? Because I was like, shit, you know, we got to make sure we have enough money to buy a product. We were selling Diamond and 100 stuff at our store too. It was a Fatlace store, so we sold a bunch of people's brands. I was into fixed gear. I was into, you know, we buy frames from Japan, you know, like it was just like madness. And at the same time, I was working for Nike. So it was, you know, a lot of juggling, you know, and then the people that's running the store, my wife and my friend Ron, they had regular jobs as well. So it was kind of crazy, you know, like we were like really all over the place. But at the same time, we learned a lot, you know, you win and you lose. And that's pretty much the game, you know, like you win and you lose. You try to break even at the end of the month, try to make some money, try to pay people off. It's kind of crazy. It's still the same thing for anyone that has a store.
Yeah. Definitely. So then you come out with this Illest shirt with the Titleist logo, and it just blows up. At that time, was Illest a brand, or it was just a design that you made?
It was just a design with fat lace labels. You know, it
Yeah.
was with it said Illest and it had fat lace tags in the back. And um, I think after the second year, Nike, my friends at Nike were like, "Hey, dude, why are you here still? You know, like you have a brand and you're like brand seems to be taking off." I'm like, "Well, I'm not really, you know, that's my friend's brand and my wife's brand, but I think I was there to learn. You know, you're at Nike to learn. They're the best. You know what I mean? Like if you have that opportunity to learn from the best, you got to take it.
Yeah.
You can't pass that up, right?"
Yeah, no, hell no, dude. That's like that's a college course in its own.
Yeah. I mean, I learned so much, and I learned a lot of things I shouldn't be doing. And you know, you don't sometimes when you're gone, you realize, shit, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. But because you're there trying to prove yourself, trying to take chances. You know, like you don't want to shake the boat too much because that boat's been there since '72, right?
Yeah. So when you were at Nike, what were some of the things that you learned that you implemented into the brand that helped the success of it?
I mean, I pretty much I learned a lot of things. You know, basically everything that I've been doing the past 10 years. You know, I still talk to a lot of. I think not burning bridges is the number one thing. You know, I think a lot of people that have brands right now, they just go through. They're just going, right? Oh, did I cut out?
Yeah, you cut out.
Oh,
You were saying about
okay.
the brands, the new brands.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, you know, a lot of people that have brands, like it's unfortunate, but they just think they run shit without knowing, you know. And it's unfortunate because like people are gonna forget about them, you know, like they won't last very long because they don't care who they're burning on the way, you know.
Yeah. Is it apparent for you to see that when you see a new brand coming up or you meet a new business owner that their product is hot at that time? Can you tell the kind of person that they are?
I mean, you know, most of the time I meet with people, I don't really, I don't, I mean, I'm not meeting people on the regular that own brands, but when I do meet them, they're a lot of people definitely have, they're definitely cool with me. But I mean, seeing some brands from the outside, and you know, when you hear a lot of craziness about them, you're just like, dang, what's going on? You know, like, why would you even go down that road and create animosity, right? I mean,
Yeah.
unless your brand's all about it, but I mean, you're basically shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's one of the biggest signs that shows that somebody's not in it for the long haul. They're just in it to, maybe get this money while it's hot and then move on to something else.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, some people that's how they live, so it's all
Just
good,
just
whatever.
going from trend to trend.
Yeah, yeah, that's just how they are. I mean, that's can't do anything about it. I mean, I've learned a lot from my mistakes, so I think it's okay. I mean, I think they're gonna learn hopefully, but if they're gonna keep doing shit like that, then good luck.
I feel you, man. So what are some of the most valuable lessons that you have learned in business?
I think the most is just being consistent, right? Like you don't want to change your style if you already have a style, right? I think people love your brand because who you are. You're not trying to steer them. Fuck, I don't want to follow these guys anymore. They change their style too much, right?
Yeah.
But I think consistent and talking to your, I guess your fans and followers and people that buy your brand, and you just keeping it real with them is the best way to go about it.
Do you feel like your demographic has grown with you in age from the brand?
Yeah, you know what's crazy is we just dropped a new collection, and we did pretty well. I think we sold crazy amount, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think my guys, my analytics guys were like, dude, like 56% new customers. That's crazy, right? Like we haven't gotten that in a while.
Whoa.
Yeah, but I thought, I was like, oh shit, that's pretty good. I mean, like I think it's a sign that we're doing the right thing and we're transitioning to, new and old. So I think for us, we got to make sure that we still cater to both, the new guys and the old guys. The older guys, they like a lot of basics, right? And I'm all about the basic stuff. Some people like it loud,
Yeah.
but you just have to kind of complement it and make sure your designs are on point, and then you should do well.
How do you stay tapped into the youth to see what they're into?
I do because I have 12 young designers, and they tell me, hey man, you got to see this, you got to check this out. I always take it with a grain of salt, but I also take it in because I'm like, you're right. I talk to my kids and they're like, Dad, this brand is really good. I'm like, what are you talking about? Who are these guys? And then I look them up. I'm like, whoa, this guy used to work for my friend.
Yeah.
And they brand and their brand's like killing it,
Yeah. Sick,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, that's one thing that that I've noticed that really helps out is that you have to kind of put yourself in situations that you normally wouldn't put yourself in. You got to see what the younger kids are into, and it definitely helps out if you have a child or a family member that's that age. And my son, he's 12, and man, I watch everything that he does. I watch what he's into, what he thinks is cool, and I try to like be part of it, and kind of use that to push Downstar forward, because I never want Downstar to get the thing where it's like, oh, it's just the older guys. I want it to be more of a like a lifestyle thing rather than just for older dudes,
Yeah, I know my daughter, she's 14, and she's like, I'm like, dude, why do you guys wear sweats all day, right? Like all fucking month long. I'm like, what is going on here, right?
Yeah.
I drop her off at high school. She's a freshman. Not anymore because, there's no more school, but I'm like, why is everyone in this school wearing sweats? This is crazy. But she's like, Dad, that's like the style. I'm like, what? This is too big. What are you talking about? I don't know. Just real funny.
Yeah. Are you on TikTok?
Man, they're on TikTok all day. I'm on TikTok, but I don't know. It's like I did my first post. I got like 36,000 I don't know, likes or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, I got 36,000 on my first post, and Brooklyn's like, Dad, how did you do that? I'm like, I don't know. I just posted a bus, right? My Volkswagen bus.
You didn't even do a dance?
I didn't do nothing, dude. And I just drove my bus around. And then my next post, I'm like, why did it only get 738? Like, it's so, I don't get it. But I think maybe I made the For You page or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, the algorithm is crazy, but it's a lot more loose than anything else that we're used to right now. And when it first started coming up, there was a lot of people that were really skeptical about the numbers. I follow the the group chat podcast. Have you heard of that? It's with Drama from Young and Reckless.
Oh yeah, I know Drama.
Yeah. So Drama has a podcast, and they would just always talk about TikTok.
Hey, what's the podcast called?
It's called Group Chat.
Oh wait, no, he used to have his own podcast.
His own is short story long.
Yeah. That's the one I follow.
Yeah, short story long, and then him and two other buddies, they have a podcast called Group Chat, and they were talking about TikTok, and I don't know if it was them or if they were just telling a story where somebody decided, okay, well, let's just get maybe 100 TikTok influencers and flow them some gear and say, hey, post it up. And they actually noticed like a huge jump in sales after that happened. So those numbers are real. But
yeah, we were one of our events in LA, we were gonna use 5 TikTok guys with over I think it was like 20 million followers or something crazy. I'm like, is this gonna work? And
Yeah.
then yeah, we were gonna do it. We didn't do it, but I was like, yeah, it'll probably work. Like these guys want some money, but at the same time, I'm like, maybe it works. Who knows?
Yeah, from what they said, I've been thinking about testing it out, but dude, just running all social medias is hard. We need a social media person for sure.
Yeah, I know. We got to kill it on TikTok.
Yeah.
Too crazy though. I'm like, man, I'm not gonna do any dances, but we could hire someone to do some dances that are really good dancers.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm scared of TikTok because of the whole. That's it's like owned by it's from China.
Yeah.
At the same time, and nothing wrong with China, but you don't know what they're doing with their data.
Yeah, they're even saying that a lot of the government officials, they're not allowed to have TikTok on their phone just because of security reasons.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they could be in our phones right now.
Yeah. I mean, we got to wait till the dust settles with all of this stuff. We got to talk next year to see what's really unfolding,
Yeah, that's true.
But
That's definitely
that's for our conspiracy podcast, though.
okay. Okay, I'm okay with that.
But all right, so let's jump back into Nike. So when you started working into Nike, what were some of your biggest accomplishments there?
We did a few things. I think the launch of Nike Sportswear was like the number one reason why we were all there. I think there was no Nike Sportswear yet, but the group that created the brand, along with all the countries that that was the main reason why we were all.
You cut out for a sec. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, I basically said Nike Sportswear was like the main reason why we were all at Nike.
Got you. So then you open up the first Fatlace store, and when did you actually start Illest as a brand?
When I left Nike, I think 2009,
Mm-hmm.
I opened up LA store. I opened up Orange County, then I opened up Hawaii, and I was just like, shit, let's kill it. Let's just open up a bunch of Illest stores, right?
Whoa.
I switched my store in San Francisco to an Illest store, and then, I let my leases run out. Did 4 years on every store, and then basically, I noticed the trend of retail dying.
Mm-hmm.
So then, I was very fortunate to realize that and got out.
So what was the most number of stores that you had at a time?
In the U.S., we had 5. And then in Asia, we have a lot right now.
So is it pretty much you open up one store, you understand what it takes to do, and then you just implement that into all the other stores that you're opening up? Or is each one its own sort of battle?
Well, I think I'm fortunate enough to have a business partner that his specialty, I guess, is having stores.
Mm-hmm.
They have over 1,400 stores, I think, around 1,400 stores.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere from, they basically run all of Vans, Guess, just a whole bunch of brands, right?
Yeah.
And they're fortunate I'm fortunate to be their business partner, and they know how to run stores. They know how to run businesses. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy, dude. That's so cool, man. Just having all those stores around. Did you ever sit down and just take it all in?
I think I probably will soon. But I think I get a little nervous sometimes. Still, I'm like, oh shit, that's a lot of money. But if we're fortunate enough to have business partners. Let's just say that.
Yeah, very cool, man. Do you have anything in Japan?
No, I have friends that run Illest out of there, and then we have a distribution out of Japan.
Got you. Now, if I'm not mistaken, did you did you live in Hawaii as well?
So when I had my store there for 4 years, I basically was there every other week.
Got you.
The reasoning behind opening a store in Hawaii, and if anyone's watching this, you should really think about opening up a store in Hawaii if you want to learn how to surf or live that island life, right? Because that was my main purpose is I need to learn how to surf, so I'm going to open up a store in Hawaii. People been wanting me to open up a store in Hawaii, so then I did, and I thought it did well. You know, it was 460 square feet, so small,
Yeah.
right? It sold well. I mean, we were able to keep pay the rent, pay the employees, and being able to go to Hawaii every third week or every other week was pretty cool.
Now, you doing all of this business and traveling, did this put a strain on your home life?
No, not at all. Because I think once I get home, I just hang out with my kids all the time. They're actually so surprised I'm not anywhere right now.
Really?
Like, what? You're crazy, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think when I was at Nike, it was a little difficult because I was commuting back and forth from San Francisco to Oregon.
Yeah.
So my wife wasn't really happy about that idea of me living half the week over there and half the week in the Bay. So that's kind of why I moved back and started Illest, because it just wasn't, flying that often no one should have to fly that often,
Yeah, no, definitely, man. So
Yeah.
when Illest started popping off, how were you able to manage everything? How did your team grow at that time?
Shit, man, we had in the States, we had about 35 employees, 40. It was a lot, right? And paying taxes, like this many people in the States versus my Asia team where they could handle everything, all the business side of it, very, very stressful on myself because I basically stopped designing because of that, right? I think it kind of hurt the brand a little because I wasn't able to concentrate on being creative, we're lucky to have the collaborations that we did back then. And there was no real planning, right? We were just like, fuck, we got to think of something for next week.
Yeah.
Or we got to think of something for next month. Now I have like 20 collabs in the pipeline, right? And we have our creative all the way done till next year. But now we have to adjust because of this whole thing we're all going through, right? We have to edit. We got to make things right. We got to design because of what's happened, right? And I think you have to adjust to the times now. We can't just, okay, because we designed this last year, we're still going to release it. We can't do that, right? We got to edit because shit happened, and now we got to make sure that we're releasing the right product.
Yeah. How important is it to you to feed your creativity?
Me? Oh man, I feed it all day long. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking at magazines all day. I'm looking at houses. That's given me the most inspiration lately, and a lot of art, a lot of design.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I feel sometimes, man, is when business and work just gets too much, then I feel like the thing that suffers a lot is the creativity. And it feels like it's always a tug of war. You're trying to play with the responsibilities and the business that you have to, and then the childlike creativity that you want to keep feeding, but then it's getting you have obligations that you got to focus on, and that's something that I still deal with to this day.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's tough, man. Like, it's a fine line, right? And a good balance. You got to definitely balance it out. I think that's the hardest part of it. I think having those partners helped me realize that, okay, I'm really good at this. They just want me to focus on this, and that's it, right? So, super fortunate for that.
Yeah. Now you say houses, you're really into mid-century modern houses, correct?
I'm into mid-century a lot. I think in the past couple of years, it's gotten a bit oversaturated,
Yeah.
right? Everyone wants one. It's fine. I don't care. I'm still gonna make one, right?
Yeah.
But uh, I'm gonna I'm gonna say I'm way more into modern design than anything else. But I've switched over and I've kind of crossbred modern and traditional Japanese. So the house that we're remodeling right now is going to be that. It's going to be half Japanese, half modern design.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, do you have any other hobbies that you use to feed your creativity?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I've just gotten back into art, like painting. I'm painting cars right now. It's pretty funny, but
Like model cars?
no, like I take photos and then I paint those photos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Basically, I unfollowed everyone on Instagram about 3 months ago,
Uh-huh.
right? And it's funny. I have this. I think in December I unfollowed everyone because I said, okay, I want to focus. I'm going to try to figure out what I want to draw and what I want to paint, right? Because I said I want to get back into art. And if I had a conversation with you, somebody, then I would follow you. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I think that's because you're following so many people, but you don't really talk to them.
Yeah.
You don't conversation. I was like, okay, I want to paint this, and after I figured out what I want to paint, then I started following people again, and that's what I mean by if I talk to you on the phone or if I text you, then I'm gonna follow you because I feel like I'm actually connected with you this year, right? It's kind of like when you're Marie Kondo, is it the lady who cleans and like throws away all the your old garbage in your house,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you're purging your old stuff that you haven't touched in years, I think that's when you realize, oh shit, I got way too much junk, right?
Yeah.
That's the same mentality I felt with. Nothing wrong with following people because you get inspiration, but I didn't want to have inspiration from other people in my artwork, right?
Yeah.
That was the main reason for not looking at people's stories. If I look at your story, then subconsciously it's in your head,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're gonna end up drawing some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I never even thought about that. That makes so much sense though, dude.
dude, I'm like way into this weird way of thinking right now, which is cool, but it's true, right? Like the more you're looking at other people's story, the more you're gonna think about it, and it's gonna just stick in your brain, and eventually you're gonna be like doing that, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Are you big on like energy that people bring?
Oh, totally. Any negative energy, I don't talk to you anymore.
Really?
You're done. Yeah, I don't care. It's like, man, all this guy does is talk crazy. Like, why do I even have to deal with this? Even friends, like some friends of mine, I'm like, everything's like conspiracy theory. I like conspiracy theory movies, but it's just tough sometimes.
It's with conspiracies, dude. I absolutely love conspiracies, but it's definitely a fine line, and I have to keep myself in check because if you go a little too far, then you're just watching. There's a helicopter right there following me, or why is this ad popping up, or something like that, But I definitely like the entertainment aspect of it, and what it really helps me out with is to kind of look at things from different angles all the time rather than what's given to you,
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is a fine line, and people they'll take things that they see on a YouTube video or something like that as fact, and then they keep going down the rabbit hole, and now every single thing is a conspiracy.
Oh, it's crazy, man. And the funny thing is, the older guys that believe everything Facebook says.
Yeah.
Any news thing from Facebook is real news. It's like, man, I don't know. You guys are crazy already.
Yeah. I think that there's a majority of people are just crazy, dude.
That's funny, man.
So, when did you start Hella Flush?
Um, started 2003.
2003.
Yeah, we started Hella Flush in 2003. We were into drifting, like soup, like we drifted every day, pretty much for I don't know, very long time.
Uh-huh. And
But yeah, a friend of mine, he was like, "Oh man, that's Hella Flush," like we put our I bought some J lines, J line, the
yeah,
rim company.
actually have
Uh,
one right right there.
I was wondering if that was
Yeah.
I used to do Stan's website for him.
Oh, really?
I did the J line website, but it's J line. I put some J lines on my S14. And my friend was like, "Oh, that's Hella Flush." I'm like, "Oh shit, that's a cool word." So I bought the URL,
Yeah.
and then I just started posting up cars that look like that. Right?
Yeah.
It was basically our cars that were looking like that, and we would drift like that, and it kind of took off. It was kind of crazy.
Would you go drifting at a track?
Yeah, yeah. We rented tracks, and then we drifted wherever we can drift.
Yeah, I've always wanted to drift, man, but around us, there's not really anything close by. I think the closest track is like Button Willow, and I don't even know if they do drifting there,
Yeah, yeah.
And but I could just imagine just being like going on a freeway on ramp or something. That would be so awesome, dude. But so when you started that, was that just another blog?
It was a blog, and then we started having these little meets called Hella Flush One, Hella Flush Two, Hella Flush Three. They were just huge events, and we were like, "Damn, we could kind of do something with this, right?" And then we started selling stickers and started selling T-shirts at these events, and people were all about it.
Yeah.
I think I stopped Hella Flush because someone in Japan stole my name,
Uh-huh.
and they started trying to have an event called Hella Flush out there.
Oh.
And I think that's when we stopped that.
Got you. I remember going to Hella Flush meet. Fuck, I don't even remember. Santa Monica, maybe?
Yeah, Santa Monica, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was cool, man. That was probably like 2010, 2009, somewhere around
Yeah,
there.
yeah. That was like 700 cars, right? That was like crazy.
Yeah. Good old days, man. That was awesome. So,
Yeah, the cops, they had no idea what to do. They're just like, man, this whole place is jam packed.
but we paid for parking.
That's what I said. Hey, you guys are making a lot of money today. You shouldn't be mad at us.
Every spot sold.
Yeah.
So, when did what the hell was I gonna say, dude? It's just you were saying about the name got stolen, and that brought me to Illest and seeing that design everywhere and every eBay account, seeing so much product that was not I'm assuming not official Illest merch. What did you think when that was happening?
All the fake stuff, I was okay with the fake stickers because I think seeing Illest stickers on cars was really good advertising.
Yeah.
Right. And I talked, I would talk to the Stussy lawyers because the lawyers from Stussy would always text me or call me and or email me and say, "Hey, Mark, I found more Illest stuff on the, because he basically shuts them all down with a cease and desist, right?"
Yeah.
And he would forward me hundreds of these, I guess, ads. I mean, people selling shit that said Illest on there. I'm like, man, this is crazy. I need to hire somebody, right? So then we ended up hiring another lawyer just to shut all these people down with a cease and desist. Until now, we still do the same thing. And luckily, I got my guys in Asia that are pretty much shutting everyone down. But, I think stickers are fine. I think it's when it's product, that's when I kind of, man, that's ugly design they made, right? So we got to shut them down.
Yeah. Now, I was listening to the podcast that you did with Christian Loza, How It's Done, and you were talking about the the Titleist situation in depth. And it didn't seem like it was that negative of a situation. It seemed like it ended up even a little positive. Can you go over that a little bit?
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, once we got the cease and desist, it took us about 2 years to go back and forth with them, trying to see where we could find the middle ground on what we can do, right? Because first of all, they didn't want us to make golf gear with the Illest logo, their logo, and this and that. Don't try not to do any more cursive Illest logos. And I'm like, what? But like, that's my hand style. I could do whatever Illest logo I want to do, right? And I think we found a middle ground. The lady from Acushnet, the owners of Titleist, they own a bunch of other golf brands, but she was like super cool, man. She would like end up emailing me, telling me what we can do, what we should do moving forward, this and that. And, you know, we became friends. So I think it's, you know, she wasn't against us. She just understood that if one of her golf colleagues sees one of the golfers wearing an Illest hat that looks like Titleist, they're going to call it out, right? And they did see that, and they were kind of like, fuck, this brand is coming up, right?
Yeah.
Because at the time, we had a semi-pro golfer wearing our Illest hat on tour, and they saw that, they were pissed. That's when we got our cease and desist. So, yeah.
So do you feel like it's how you handled that situation that made it end up a positive?
Well, I think in the end, I think we at the working for me that was stalling, and it pissed them off, right?
Yeah.
So when that person finally left, I was able to, make the situation much better.
Got you. Now, let's go ahead and touch on networking and the importance of networking. When did you realize that the value of networking, and what are some of the things that you do to build those relationships and keep those relationships?
Like I said earlier, I think in life you realize you do things that are good and you do things that are bad, and then you're like, fuck, I'm not the best at this, and I'm not the best at that. But one thing I always try to be is like a friend to everyone, and try to understand what their needs are and what my needs are, right? Kind of go both ways versus just your one way. You know, like if I was to hit you up, my whole intent, some people's intentions are, I just want to do a collab with this guy and make money, right? So my intention is try not to go into the game that way, right? Try not to think just money, because money you can make, right? Like, I think it's friendships that last, that make it count, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So a good example is my friendship with the owner of Mooneye, right? Shige. He's a old school dude, right? Like, he was gifted Mooneye for $1.
Yeah.
Right. When Bob Moon died, he gave it to him for $1.
That's insane.
Because he knew that he's the right guy for the brand that's going to keep it going, right? And I've met with him maybe for 5 years. I was like, dude, we got to work on something. He's like, it's been 5 years. We got to work on something. I'm like, I know. So then I finally showed up with something, and he was like super stoked on it. And from then on, he understood that it's not, I didn't want to just use him for a collab. I wanted to be a friend, and I think I try to come into any situation like that these days, right? I think sometimes it goes the other way, but, you try to come in with your mind thinking the most positive way.
Yeah. So how do you approach situations like that when most people who have a successful business they have a wall up, because people are always asking them for stuff? How do you end up getting on that side of being a friend and being like, look, dude, I look up to your brand and I would love to be a friend of yours and I don't need anything from you?
Yeah. I get hit up. Like, I mean, you can imagine I get hit up pretty much all the time. And I think it's okay. I love getting hit up about hey, let's maybe let's work on something in the future, you
Yeah.
know? And I say, you know what? I'm totally down. Like I think let's just work on your brand. If you need any advice, lefts and rights, let me know, and I can help you. You know, because I've been through everything.
Yeah.
Seriously, I feel like I've been through pretty much everything. You know, highs and lows. So I could kind of help coach these kids that under to help them understand. Okay, so your brand's super hot right now. What are you gonna do in 1 year, right? Or what are you going to do in 2 years? You can't keep repeating the same thing, although some brands do.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's just about helping other people out when people do ask you to come up and like, hey, can we work on something together? And go, yeah, let's work on your brand first. You know?
Yeah. That's very cool of you, man.
Yeah, I mean, I do the same. I mean, friends that have bigger brands than myself, they've given me the same advice as well. You know, like let's see your brand grow a little, and then let's talk. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. There's so many people that I want to work with and collabs, and you know, even to have them on as a guest on the podcast, but I always just have to plan it right. You know, make sure that it's the right time, make sure that I'm ready for whatever's going to come after that, make sure that you know the product that we're going to do together, this collaboration, or even have them on the podcast, that it feels right, that it feels organic, because you know, I don't want to hit at a time that I'm not ready.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make sure that it's that it works out both ways, you know. And sometimes it's hard. Like what can I bring to some company that has everything? What can I bring to the table that this person they don't need anything? And that's kind of the struggles that I have.
Yeah, yeah. I think come in with a little confidence. You know what I'm saying? Because I think you have a brand that people are down with. You know,
Yeah.
these companies that you want to work with, these guys they want your market as well. You know, that's
Yeah.
why that's why they're even talking to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think we always go in confident, and we always tell people, we show them our deck, and then we show them who we've worked with in the past and the reason why we want to work with you, right? Like we want to work with you because you guys do this. You guys really want to work with us because we have this reach, right? And I think from there on, you know, people will be like, oh, okay, this makes a lot of sense. Let's do this.
Yeah. Someone that I really want to have on the podcast, but then I don't know if I want to have him on because I'm super intimidated, would be a podcast that you were on, was Ben Baller. So,
Oh yeah, he's crazy.
tell me about that experience. What was that like?
Well, I was barely on his podcast because he talks so fucking much. I'm just playing. Ben and I are good friends. He shares the same birthday as my wife,
Uh-huh.
and I've been for so many years, right? I think back when, you know who DJ AM is?
Yeah. Rest in peace.
So DJ AM, he passed away. I used to trade shoes with him, and then he used to be like, I was a big shoe collector, right? And Ben was part of his Air Mac crew, right? They were like same sneaker crew back then, and I think I met him in San Francisco back in the Nike Talk days, and we've been friends since.
Yeah.
He's been crazy. He's a wild dude.
Yeah, he is, man. That podcast is crazy. It's entertaining, but it's definitely intimidating. I don't know if we'll have that conversation. I'd like to meet him one day, though.
Yeah, he's blunt, you know, like, but you know, the funny thing is, a lot of people that don't know him, and once you know him, you're like, oh man, this guy's crazy. You know, you're just like, he's just pulling my leg right now, but he's a good dude.
Yeah, shout out to him, man. So, are you still into sneakers?
No.
No?
I have 500 pairs of shoes right now. I'm trying to get rid of them, but I'm also trying to figure out what my son wants because his foot's growing so fast. So trying to figure out which shoes he wants to keep.
Yeah.
And then I'll just get rid of them.
What size are you?
Well, depending on what shoe brand, anywhere from 9 to 10. You know.
Got you, got you. So is it mostly Nikes?
Yeah, yeah, mostly Nike, Adidas, and yeah.
Did
Like
you,
I got into Visvim for a while, so I got quite a few pairs of those.
got you. What's your holy grails?
Ah, none of them anymore.
Really? You're just over it.
Over it. I think Jordan ones are my favorite shoe still. Air Max ones. Yeah.
Got you. Did you ever get into Yeezys?
Yeah, dude, we had I had 35 pairs of Yeezys at one point.
Wow. The Adidas
And
or Nikes?
Nike Yeezys, and I had old Adidas Yeezys as well, but we sold all of those. We made some good money on that.
I bet. Did you have the Red Octobers?
All of them, dude. We had like
No
seven, 10
fucking
pairs of.
way.
Yeah, yeah, crazy.
Ah, dude, if anybody has some Red Octobers right now in a 9, let me know, dude. Dude, I can't see spending that amount for them though.
Yeah, I don't. How much are they going for now?
I don't know. I haven't even checked, but if I was to guess, probably over 10. You know,
No shit. We were selling them for 4,000 each.
no shit. I mean,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
when they came out, it was probably get them for about that much. But now, since it's been so long, and then since Kanye's been going through his shit, and like that was an era, and this new era is something different. That represents something else because the Nike Yeezy shoes that has a different meaning to me than the Adidas Yeezys
Yeah,
does. So
definitely. That's true.
I would like to have something like that for nostalgia, you know, like some whether the Blinks, is that what they were called, the first ones?
Yeah.
I think I
I
lost.
know whom we made them, dude. We made them when I was at Nike at the time.
Say
Yeah,
that
we
again.
had them made.
I'm sorry.
Oh, we were. My friend at the time, Roger, he was part of the team that made the Yeezy. So they would give me samples all the time, and I have a pair of samples that no one's ever seen. Kind of
No
crazy.
way.
I should get it, but they're not here.
Well, if you want to
I,
get
I
rid of some of those, let me know.
I posted those up one time. This one dude was like, "Oh no!" I felt like he just started harassing me. He wanted to buy them so badly.
Yeah. Are they the same colorway or?
No, these were like they had some weird like silk interior. It was crazy. Like he wanted to go crazy on it, right?
Yeah.
They left them on my desk. I was like, shit, I'm keeping these.
Dude, that's cool.
Yeah.
Now, when you were at excuse me for my ignorance about the Nike Dunks, when was that? Were you part of that?
No, it was
The
no,
SBs, excuse me, not the Dunks, SBs.
no, SBs I think started in 98, 99. Oh no, maybe 2003. I can't remember.
Mhm.
But when did Savior? I can't remember actually. When did we do that collab? We did a collaboration with Savior. It was a brand Nike owned at the time. It was a Nike. It was basically Nike skateboarding before Nike SB started,
Mhm.
and we did a collab with them. I think back in 2001, and SB started in 2002 or 2003, something like that. Because once they phased out Savior, Nike SB started.
Got you.
Yeah, we did a collab with them. We did a Fatlace shoe, and then what I have one here. Oh no, it's upstairs. We did a collab with them, and then we ended up doing collab with Nike SB and Staple out of New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, you've done so much, bro. That's awesome. Now another thing that you did that you brought to the States was RWB. So let's talk about that. How did that
Yeah.
come out?
It's some similar story. You know, like I bought a Porsche when I was at Nike back in 2007,
Uh-huh.
and I won it on an auction on eBay, right? So I took a train up to Seattle, drove the car back down. At the time, Brian Scotto from the Hoonigans, you know.
Mhm.
So Brian had a magazine called, I think it was 0 to 60 or something. I don't know. Can't remember. I think it was 0 to 60.
Uh-huh.
It was out of New York, and he did an article feature on Nakai. I saw it, and I was like, shit, I need to get one of these cars. Tried to contact them. They didn't speak English, right? So I ended up going to Japan, met with Toshi, who's their representative, met with Nakai, and I was like, shit, I want to bring this to the States. They're like, yeah, let's do it. You know, let's do it. I met them around Tokyo Auto Salon time, and then by June he was at my July, August. About August he was at my warehouse and building Brian's and my car and some other kid, Evan, back. I forgot where he's from. Connecticut. I don't know, something like that. Yeah.
So, what year was this?
This was a long time ago. Maybe 2000. What year are we?
20.
2010, 2011.
Okay.
Something like that.
So
yeah, a long time.
So when you brought the car when you brought him and had him do the car, did you understand the significance of what it was all going to become?
I had a feeling it was going to blow up, right? Because we basically built my car and Brian's car for SEMA, and from there it just kind of took off. Everyone wanted to buy one after that, right? And I would take orders. I would be like, fuck, people are crazy. They're just dropping $20,000 just for a kit that they have to wait 5 months for, right?
Yeah.
And then the line for this thing started growing and growing. Everyone in the world wanted one. And everyone hit me up, and I said to Toshi, Toshi, we might need like representatives from every country in the world, because I can't manage this myself. And you can't manage it yourself, but there should be a kind of a line. It goes from Toshi, it goes from me, it goes to the guy to me, the Toshi. You know what I mean? Make sure there's a configuration, or else it's going to get too scatterbrained, right?
Yeah.
It did end up getting too scatterbrained, but at the same time, luckily we realized that, and then fixed it. It's still kind of scatterbrained with some people. People think they could just do whatever, but I don't know. It's cool. I think we ended up, the brand's still good. It's still super busy. Nakai's still busy building cars. It definitely plateaued for a while.
Yeah.
And now it's really, if you really want it, you're going to get it. I wouldn't say it's in hot demand because there's so many cars like that, but the essence and the aura of RWB is still alive in Japan really well, like even in the States.
Yeah, when we went to Auto Salon, we went to the annual RWB meet that they have out there all the time.
I wasn't able to make it, dude. That shit was far, dude.
Yeah, at first we went to the first location because that's where we thought it was going to be at, where the Hard Rock is, but then they switched the location, and by the time we got there, it was a little later. Dude,
I was like, sorry guys, I couldn't make it. I came to Japan the day after that. Ended up going to their store. Remember they opened up that little pop-up store? I don't know if you ended up going to that.
No.
Yeah, it was in Shibuya also, but yeah, I couldn't make that. My timing was off. I was flying from Manila to Japan. My timing was way off.
Now, do you think bringing RWB to the States helped the popularity of the Porsche community?
Mixed feelings, I think the hot rod community of Porsches are way into it. Although there's a lot of hot rod purists, if you could even call that something, but some of those guys are like, but then they're old guys. They don't give a fuck. They're like old guys. You can't change their mind, so whatever.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are down with it. A lot of the purist 911 guys that restore cars to like to spec, those guys aren't really down with it, but I'd say the Singer guys are kind of down with it. Yeah. I mean, Singer guys were like way into it in the beginning as well. Like they would always email me as well.
Dude, very cool, man. Now, what do you have in the stable right now?
I got I have a couple Porsches. I got a Sport Turismo, station wagon, Panamera Sport Turismo, and then I have a Cayenne GTS. That's my wife's car.
Okay.
A 964, 911. I just picked that back up. I bought it I sold it to a friend in Florida. I bought it back from him just recently, and I got my bus still.
Yeah.
And I got this Ferrari I'm trying to sell, that 355.
Mm-hmm.
And then my son's car, his 86. I still have that.
Oh, very cool. What year is that Ferrari?
It's a 99 F355, the B. Mm-hmm. It's a hardtop. Yeah.
So what's your favorite car out of all of them?
I was driving the bus today. I love the bus still. It rips. It's fast. Yeah.
I bet that thing gets a lot of attention, huh?
Yeah, I was driving too low because my fuse on my, I have air suspension in the front. The fuse blew. Mm-hmm. So I was like a little too low. I was scraping on everything, man. It sucked.
Do you have a muscle car also?
Oh, that's my sister's. Well, my dad's very first car. It's a 1970 Camaro.
Yeah.
So my brother-in-law hit me up. He's like wanted to fix it up. He ended up putting a crate motor in it. Uh-huh. Then I ended up getting it painted, and he bagged it. Looks sick. It's fresh. Yeah. But I'm actually, my next car is going to be a hot rod.
What are you thinking?
Maybe a 32 Ford.
Oh, wow. I'm going to take it back.
Yeah, that, or I'm for sure going to get one of those. And then maybe a 65 Nova.
Nice. Those are like the box ones, right?
Yeah, I love that. I love that body style. Been trying to buy my friends forever.
Yeah, dude. There's something about those 60s Chevys, man. They're something else. I have a 69 Chevelle, and I've had that since high school, dude. I love that car.
Is it fixed up?
Sort of. I mean, the body, it needs work, but I have a 383 stroker in it, 177 blower, a YN blower, single carb. It's actually not a carburetor anymore. It's a fuel injected, so it's like the FI Tech, where it's like the carburetor, but it's still the root style blower because I didn't want to get rid of that. I love how that looks.
Nice. Have you seen Nick's Chevelles?
I have. He has the 69 and 68, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
I've never seen him in person, but they look awesome.
Come with me next time. We can go to his office and then check him out.
Dude, let me know. I would love to, man. I've always, and that's so weird. Like I always say about Nick is that like the hardware, and then when I seen the car, I'm like, dude, this is too crazy. It's the same exact car.
Yeah.
But the only thing about those fucking cars, dude, is it's not reliable. It's not. Really? It's still, even with the fuel injection, still not reliable. But it could be my fault too, because the car's been down forever. Then I get it running again, and I still haven't spent much or paid much attention to it. But I wish I could just jump in that car and just drive, and that's not a reality.
Yeah. Crazy.
We even put in a rack and pinion setup, and I was hoping that would help with steering. But then you know how that goes, is that it's from like Jegs or Summit, and then now the rack and pinion, the steering ratio on it is just terrible. So it made it even worse than the steering box.
Yeah, so, that's crazy.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, man. It's like I'd rather mess with Hondas because it's just easier, plug and play. And if I have any issues, I could just go on Instagram and just ask, "Hey, how do I fix this?" And
yeah. You still have a Honda now?
Yeah, I have my I have a 93 Civic hatchback. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a gray one. I had Lambo doors on it. The engine bay's all graffiti, underglow and everything. So that was kind of my throwback to the past. And then I have a 92 SIRS, which is my baby. And that's the right-hand drive K-Series. And that one's pretty much hooked up all the way. And I got some stuff going on with both those cars, but I'm keeping it under wraps until it's ready. But
oh man, I'm looking for two cars right now because I told my kids that they can only pick a car from initial D, so
Yeah.
so I can start working on them. Right. My son's car, his 86 is already hooked up. I just need to change the wheels,
Nice.
but it's like already complete.
Yeah.
My daughter, my middle daughter wants to get an S2000.
Oh,
She
sweet.
Yeah, she wanted this Suzuki. It's the smallest car in initial D. She wanted it. It was some red Suzuki, tiny one. I'm like, they don't make that in the U.S., so you have to pick another one.
So she
So
wants an S2000?
she picked the S2000, and the eldest, Brooklyn, she wants an Alteza,
Yeah, yeah,
IS,
yeah, yeah.
because she said it looks the most normal amongst all the cars. But I'm still gonna fix it up, man.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's a nice car right there too. I've always loved that one.
Hmm.
I've never had an S2000, but I've wanted to get one. Ryan from Rywire, he's the guy to talk to about S2000s. He's
Yeah, I had an S2000. It was all Spoon Sports at the time, back in 2003.
Oh wow.
Yeah, a long time ago. I went crazy on Spoon, right? Like first it was all Jay's Racing ARC,
Yeah.
and then I ended up switching everything over to Spoon, and then that was my wife's car, her daily.
Yeah.
So she was driving that to San Francisco every day. It was kind of funny, well, manual and kind of crazy, but yeah.
It's crazy what Spoon was able to do with branding. They've been able to keep their name high up there. The legacy of Spoon is huge, man.
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good friend.
Yeah, I wonder if they understand it, what it means to the States.
I'm sure they understand it because sales and all that stuff. I don't think I've never been to the facility. I know I don't know how big it is, but at the same time, I'm sure they understand that it's a huge ask.
Yeah, it's not that big. It's nothing compared to Mugen. That place is huge, bro.
Yeah.
That's a totally different story. Last year we went for Auto Salon, not in January, the year before, and we my buddy Ryan from Ibach Meet, he was setting up a meeting with them, and we ended up going, and they took us through a whole tour. That's like another story, dude.
Shit, I want to go next time.
Dude, it's so crazy that they were telling us that the whole land that the building is on is actually on like some sort of springs. So because they have earthquakes all the time in Japan, so it doesn't move, so it doesn't mess up the machining that they have going on, and yeah, it was nuts, dude. I didn't even know that was the son of Mr. Honda.
Yeah. Yeah, he got busted for some kind of crazy and embezzlement shit.
No way.
Yeah, he went to jail for a while, and I guess he's still running it now.
Dude, he was rad, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seemed like he did some stuff.
You guys met him?
Yeah, dude, he was so cool, and he was actually asking us questions and asking our input, which was really special, especially Mugen, dude. That's huge.
Yeah, I love that brand. That brand's dope.
Yeah. So speaking of legacy, man, what is the legacy that you want to leave? Not only with your brands, but just you as a person.
I just want people to know that I was out there. I've been here because I just wanted to do the right thing. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to ask for too much as far as a legacy goes.
Yeah.
I mean, that know me understand that I'm super passionate about everything I do. So,
Yeah. I love it, man. Now I got to ask you, last question. I got to ask you the tough one. What do you see the future of streetwear?
Man, that's such a weird question right now. I mean, of all times to ask it, because, so many people are doing forums on shit, what's next? You know what I mean? Because we're all going through the same kind of situation.
Yeah.
I think personally, I think streetwear, our brand, and brands that are similar within price point, they're not having a terrible time during this time because it's still accessible. I think brands that are super exclusive and super expensive, you know, like the high-end streetwear brands, those are not doing the best because no one needs a $700 hoodie, right?
Like a off-white.
Yeah, exactly, like an off-white. And then it's not nothing to knock on them.
Yeah.
I mean, still going to be rich people buying it, but it's not in people's cards right now because it's, you know, it's a luxury to have those things, and right now people aren't really buying luxury shit.
Yeah, there was that article that came out where Virgil was saying that streetwear was dead, and that was kind of surprising for me to hear, because that's kind of what I classify his brand into.
Yeah, his is definitely high-end streetwear. I think he was basically saying that streetwear is being redefined right now, and I think he's absolutely correct with that.
Yeah.
But it's now what's happened with everything that's happening. We're pretty much everyone's on the same level right now. So it's up to you as an entrepreneur to step up your game and trying to figure out what's the best thing for your brand right now, and how can you're not going to try to monopolize. You're going to try to come out of this with super positive, vibes and like ideas that can help amplify your brand even to the next level.
Yeah. Mark, thank you so much, bro. I really, really appreciate this, man. This is an awesome conversation.
Thank you. Yeah.
Do
it again.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, no, definitely, dude.
This is what number is this?
161. All
right, we'll see each other in 50 more episodes.
Definitely. I look forward to it, man. Let's definitely keep in touch. You're one person that motivates me and really shows me that there's a path and there's a way to make it happen, you know? Sometimes I feel like, how am I going to be able to go from the guy who sold bolts to, you know, getting out of that stigma and still being able to, tackle that part of the community, but also spread to other things. And it's people like yourself that show me that there is a way out, you know, and I appreciate that.
Cool. Yeah, man. Anytime. Hit me up anytime, dude. Like, you got my number, text.
Dope. I appreciate it, man. So before we get out of here, where can people find you at?
Just on my Instagram, at mrk.rcnl, or you could just go to illest.com.
Dope.
But you can't get to me that way.
I'll have it listed below. Once again, Mark, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Everybody listening, thank you for your time. And a huge thank you to our sponsor, Heel Toe Automotive, for backing up the podcast. They've been in the Honda community since 2002. And they're such a great company, man. And we look forward to working with them, and look forward to building a relationship with you, man. I really, really appreciate your time.
Cool. Thank you.
Sweet.
Love you.
All right, guys, we're out of here. Episode 161, and we out. Peace.